Hey, welcome back to the Moms Crumbs podcast again. My name is Cindy. I'm a full-time reseller, mom of four beautiful children. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking a topic that has stopped a lot of people for doing live selling, which is being in front of the camera. Yes, I mean, at least for me, it was so hard to be in front of the camera. And I want to share with you my journey and what did I did to be able to overcome the fear, to overcome all of those feelings that I was feeling in the moment that I stand in front of the camera. So I remember before I started Whatnot, as you know, in our first episode, we were mentioning about Amazon FBA. So I was trying to figure out how I could sell those products. And I was trying to find someone who can mentor me, who would teach me how to do it. And I remember finding this person that literally helped me so much. Pedro Dow, that's his name. He's still like literally a great entrepreneur out there. And he had this Facebook group, where we came in and kind of learned about different topics about business. And he was explaining, you are the brand of any brand that you are representing. You are the brand. If you're the owner, you are the brand. So you need to be able to be in front of the camera to be able to talk about your products. Back then we were talking about Amazon FBA and how you need to go Facebook Live to talk about your products, or maybe do a Instagram Live or TikTok Live just to be able to talk to your products. So for me, that was a big no, okay? At that point when we were doing Amazon FBA, I was like, man, very bad in different aspects. We were going for a very bad situation at home with the family, but we really wanted to do this. So we were like, okay, how I'm able to overcome the fear. And I remember he told me, hey, do this 30-day challenge instead of the Facebook group. Go live every day. And as soon as you go live, you have to do it every day for 30 days and see how you feel. And you will see how you can overcome the fear. Every day is going to get better. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try. So I remember I went live in this Facebook group. Remember, this Facebook group was private. It was like probably 100, 200 people in this Facebook live. It's Facebook group. So I went live on Facebook, right? And I was like feeling super overwhelmed. Like just the fact that I was sitting down on my couch in front of my camera and I was seeing myself in the camera, that was not good. I remember seeing myself on the camera and literally seeing my eyes turning in water and I start crying and end my show. But in the live, I was like, no, I can't do this. So my husband's like, what happened? It's like, no, I can't do that. So the second day I was like, okay, try to. I went live the second day, and the second day was like, okay, now I have to do it. I was like, hey, everyone, I'm here. And then I froze. Like literally I froze. I didn't know what else to say. I was not selling anything. Okay. Remember that this was just an exercise that I needed to do just to kind of overcome my fear. But then I was like petrified. I was like, okay, bye. And I end my second, live. And then I went the third day and it happened the same thing. I started crying. I was like, I don't know what to say. And I remember this lady show up in my chat and she was like, hey, wait, don't go anywhere. How you doing? What is your name? And I'm like, I'm Cindy, and I was crying. And she's like, oh, do you have kids? And I'm like, yeah, I have four. And we it's kind of like trying to have a conversation with her. And seriously, she saved me. She was there kind of asking me for little different things. And I was able to have a little conversation with her for longer than 1 minute. And then I end my live, and then I went back again, and, more people started coming in, and it was like kind of encouraged me to keep going because everybody was in the same mindset. Okay. This was a safe space for me. So I went live for 30 days, and I will say by the day 30th, I felt a little more confident. And I was like, okay, well, I think this is something that will help me. At the end of the day, from that journey, I never did the Amazon lives. Because I was a coward. I never felt brave enough to be able to do it. So I left it in there, and then the whole thing happened. We lost our money. We lost everything, and we couldn't keep going with Amazon FBA. Time later, Whatnot comes to my table, and And I'm here again with the same struggle of being in front of the camera and feeling scared and feeling that I cannot do this and feeling so overwhelmed at this point. I was in my postpartum depression. There were so many things happening in my body. I just had a baby and there were so many things happening. I felt like overweight. I felt like that I was not looking good in camera. There were so many things happening. And when I did my first Whatnot show, when I finally decided to do my Whatnot show, it was a total disaster. I didn't feel ready. English is not my first language. And that was one of my biggest fears because what if people laugh at me? What if people are not interested in listening to me? What if I don't sell anything? What if no one comes to my shows? And even I remember feeling like I was going to vomit. Like, seriously, feel my stomach like, I can't do this. I had probably like 40 people in my show on the first show. And then little by little, that number started dropping to 5 and dropping to 3. And one of those 3s was my mom. I feel very discouraged. And I ended the show and I was like, I'm not going to do it again. This is not for me. This is not something that I can do from home. This is not something that I feel comfortable with. And all of these ideas of thinking that I'm not going to be able to do it. I let it pass a couple of days. And I remember that challenge that I had a couple of years back on this Facebook group. And I was like, what if I applied that same rule on Whatnot and see if it's not something that probably could help me? So I created my 30-day challenge. And I created 30 Whatnot shows, one after another one on Whatnot. And I was like, okay, this is me pushing it. This is me literally going out of my comfort zone. Okay. And what makes me in that point to do this? And let me make a pause right here. Because if you don't have this straight, this is going to be super hard for you as well. You need to know why you're doing this. Why you want to do Whatnot shows, why you really want to start becoming a life seller. What is your purpose? Why are you doing this? If you don't have that clear, let me tell you that anything that it comes to you is going to destroy you. So at that point, I remember why I'm doing this. Like, I really need to help in a way my family because we had a $60,000 debt. My husband was hustling on his side, but he needed help as well. And I needed to make sure that I could do something to help the family. Seeing that my husband working like literally 12, sometimes 18 hours and seeing him so tired. And I was like, I need to do something. I seen my kids like, I need to put more effort on whatever I'm doing to be able to find that opportunity that is going to help us to have a better life. We barely sometimes had money to pay the rent. The pressure, the stress, plus the $60,000 debt that we had, it was so much on us. So that was my motivation to say, okay, I'm going to do this. No matter how I feel right now, I have to put that aside and I'm going to give it a try. So I don't know what are you going through right now. I don't know if you want to pay off your debt. I don't know if you are without a job or you are working your 8 to 5 job, but trying to search for that second stream of income. I don't know if someone is sick in your family and you want to help. I don't know what your situation. I know different people have different situations. I just want you to write that down. Get a piece of paper and write down that situation that is going to be the heart of everything that you're going to be doing right here on Whatnot. Okay. Or if you're doing a different platform, it's valid too. Okay. Once you have that write down, I wanted to post it in a way where you're going to be seeing that every single day. Okay. My place, it was the door of my bathroom where I sit down on the toilet and I see that paper in there. Because I knew that I was going to read it, that it has no escape. If I sit down in there, I was going to read it yes or yes. Once you have that clear, next time that you you stand in front of the camera and you feel like you can't do this. This is so embarrassing. Remember that purpose and why you're doing this. And that why is what is going to help you to keep going. That why is going to be your motor to keep going. So for me, of course, it was that $60,000 that we had. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try to this 30 days challenge and see how it goes. The first show was an entire mess for many different reasons. First of all, because I was not prepared 100%. I didn't understand nothing about shipping. I didn't understand how to preload the store. I was like, everything was new to me. That plus not me feeling comfortable in front of the camera. I did cry in front of the camera. I was like so frustrated. I didn't know what to do, what to say. English was not my first language. I was messing up a lot. I didn't last more than 10 minutes. I ended my show in those 10 minutes, felt like it was an entire 24 hours. So I was like, okay, we have to try again tomorrow. Get up the next day. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try and see how it goes today, Went live again. And sometimes I feel like, okay, no one is coming. Literally that number is not moving. There was only 1-2 people in there. This is not working. What is happening, But, I ended up the show. I was like, okay, let's try the next day. So I give it a try literally for every day. There were some days that I know I wasn't ready to do an entire show or probably sell anything, but I just went live for me to feel comfortable in front of the camera. So I remember there were some days on my 30-day challenge that I just went live to do a giveaway. I just wanted to pin a giveaway, be able to talk a little bit in front of the camera, probably show out a few people and kind of talk with the people a little bit, because my main goal was to feel comfortable in front of the camera and understanding how the app works. Because we need to understand so many different things, especially on Whatnot, on how to preload the store, how to pin an item, how to pin a giveaway, how to set up shipping profiles. There are so many little details that you need to understand when you go live. But sometimes you don't have to know it all to do your first live. You have to know the basics. And even though your first live is a whole mess, it's okay, because the next one is going to be better because you're learning from the first live that went really bad. So I did all of that. And let me tell you that by day 30th, I was feeling more comfortable. I find out how amazing the Whatnot community is. I find out that the community in there is so warm and that they are going to be able to welcome you. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to be criticizing you. Seriously, the community and Whatnot is just so amazing. They're so good. And, take your time to learn. Everybody is in a different pace. Okay, don't take me wrong that tomorrow you're going to do a show and you're going to do amazing and everything is going to go good. No, everybody has their own pace. Take it your own pace. This is not a race. Take your time. Just try to be consistent. Try to, learn something every time. And if you are very techy and if you're so good at it, just keep running, just keep showing up, keep doing the lives, keep uploading the store, keep trying to sell. And one of the things that I really want to point out is that every time that we go live, we see that little red number that is on top, which means how many people you have in your show. That is a stressing point right there. At least it was for me. So this is what I did. I grabbed a happy face sticker and I put it right there where you could see how many people you had in your shows. And I put it right there because that was getting that was being a distraction for me. Because I was so into, I have 1 people, I have 3 people, I have 5 people, no, then 3 people left. Now I only have 1. And that wouldn't let me to keep going. So I had to put a sticker right there. And the same way that I was going to act for 1 person who was in my show to 100, 200 people who were in my show. Why? Because I just imagined myself having a front store, literally a physical store. If I was waiting right there for customers to come in and 1 customer come in, I'm going to treat him like, hello, how can I help you? This is what we have. The same way, a lot of people kind of downsize. I only had 2 people. I only had 3 people. I only had 5 people. Hey, Those 5 people can make your day in a purchase. So don't act differently when you have less people than when you have more people. That's something that I needed to learn. My energy, my effort has to be the same with if I have 2 people or if I have 100 people. That is a little discouraged when you have less people. Yes, it is. But remember that you're here to build an audience, to find your crowd, to build that business from scratch. Nothing was built overnight. Everything takes time and effort and, consistency. So I want you to be very consistent on what you're doing right now. If you're planning to do your first show, schedule it. Don't hesitate. And from now, let me tell you that your first show is going to be very bad. Very bad, but it's okay because you're going to learn from it. You're going to understand several different aspects on how did you like selling. And the next show is going to be incredible. Okay? Another thing that I want to point out is all of those thoughts that come to mind when you stand in front of the camera. All of those bad thoughts that say that you are not good enough, that people is going to be laughing at you, that no one wants to listening to you, that all of those bad thoughts, I wanted to shut down those thoughts in the moment that you go in front of the camera and start thinking positive thinking. Like, hey, you got this. Motivate yourself. No one is going to come to motivate you more than your own self. Okay? You got this. If I mess up, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to learn from it. You have to have those positive thinking and you're going to do great. Again, you're going to mess up and it's okay to mess up. Okay? You just want to learn. So as soon as you schedule your first show, go live. Go live as many times you can in the first 30 to 60 days in your channel because you need to build that audience. A lot of people is like, oh, you know what? I'm done with Whatnot. No more. Whatnot was not for me. And I asked them, how many shows that you did? 2 or 3. Let me tell you, 2 or 3 shows is not enough. Like, you have to build an audience. You have to be very consistent. Like, if you come and tell me, you know what? I did a whole 6 months. It didn't work for me. This is not good. Okay, well, Whatnot is not for everybody either. But you have to put the effort in. You have to give it a try. So I just want you to have this in mind. You are a wonderful person. I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know what situation you're going through right now. But let me tell you how amazing you are. Okay? If Whatnot is in your hands right now, use this vehicle to go where you need to be. Like if Whatnot, let me say Whatnot have changed my life completely and my family's. I never thought that Whatnot was going to be the vehicle that it was going to take me from being in a $60,000 debt to have a $2 million business 3 years later. We have a 10,000 square feet warehouse right now. We have literally 15 employees right now between packers, streamers, assistants. We have so many people working for us. I thought of that when I stand in front of the camera the first day when I did my first live? Of course not. Of course not. I wish I could go back in time and tell that Cindy that I was in front of the camera, you're going to make it. This is going to go big. Moms and Crumbs is going to go big. You're going to have a big warehouse soon. You're going to have employees working for you. You're going to be making $10,000 a show or even more sometimes. I wouldn't believe it. I don't think I will believe it. But we're here 3 years later. So I'm just here to encourage you, to inspire you and tell you that I'm here with you in this journey. I'm creating this podcast just to come and share my story. This is my stories to inspire you and to tell you there is possible. It is possible that you can do it. If I'm a mom with 4 kids, that I was totally depressed with postpartum depression, that my English is not my first language, and that I was literally not confident at all, was able to make it. Oh, I bet you can do it too. Okay? And for all my Latino people, if you're here, yeah, I just shows en español. You can do it. Don't let anything stop you from doing what is yours. Seriously, go grab what is yours. And I want to leave you with this. Thank you so much for listening to us today. If this one was helpful, this episode was helpful, and you know another seller that is struggling for scheduling their first show and they need a little bit of inspiration, don't hesitate to share this episode. Please follow us on Whatnot Moms and Crumbs, Instagram and TikTok. We are going to come back on our next episode with more amazing information and inspiration. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Cindy here, and see you next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Moms and Crumbs. To get started on your own reselling journey, check out the links in the show notes for free checklist, guides, and trainings from Cindy. Or get in on the fun and join her next live stream on Whatnot. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to hit subscribe or follow so you never miss an episode. And share it with another mom who's ready to build real income from home. We believe this information has the power to transform families' lives just like it did Cindy's. That's why we're on a mission to help as many moms as possible learn how to resell, build a legacy, and create real income, all from home. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.